Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, if we had a look at the first letter to Thessalonians yesterday, but if we had read the Gospel, we would have seen it is Luke's Gospel, chapter 4, and the Gospel of today picks up on that. In yesterday's Gospel, we found that Jesus was in the area of Nazareth, and what Jesus was saying to people was not widely accepted by them, to say the least, and they wanted to kill him. But he got away from them, and he went off to Capernaum. And here we find people recognize that Jesus spoke with authority and he exorcised unclean spirits. Now, people must be pretty fickle, because there must have been some people who knew what had happened in Nazareth and people who were maybe even had experienced the same thing and came to Capernaum. And yet here he's being welcomed. The other place they were trying to put him to death. And it's all, it's the attitude towards Jesus. It's all what affects that. I think, there's a kind of a fickleness in society that we kind of go with the flow. What we hear from some people and say, well, that's true, or whatever it is. And we do see that kind of subtle, sometimes pretty brazen manipulation of society. And it really, I think, comes back perhaps to what people hear, what they want to hear. What suits us, what makes us comfortable, that's what we want to accept. And I think we should just be aware as Christians of the dangers of manipulative misinformation. Sometimes we see things that appear on our phones or on our laptops, whatever, which may attempt to give a teaching of the Catholic Church, maybe even manipulating the words of the Pope. But they're not actually genuine. They've AI, or they've been some other way they have been manipulated. So always be aware that some people are out there being mischievous and they are creating the wrong impression. And we must be careful about being misled by that. I mean, we even find some political leaders in the world who somehow manage to maintain popularity within some parts, members of their community. People who live in that country or those areas. And so, why is it? How can those people maintain popularity when you look at what they've done? And so, well, then perhaps the truths have been manipulated in a way that makes them appear to be favorable. Now, why do I mention these things? Well, because we're open to those kinds of things, and always we need to be assured that we weigh them up against what we know to be true. And truth comes from the Lord. And if we are ever going to base our lives on something, make sure that we go back to the truth and not just to some speculation. Have a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. God bless. Bye-bye.